Gabriella Levitus, Executive Director at Argenbio. We are here in Punta del Este, Uruguay at the Seed Congress of Americas. My name is Aiden Brook with Seedwell Group, Business Development Manager. Gabriella?
Okay, I'm Gabriella Levitus. I'm from Argentina, and I'm the director of Argenbio. Argenbio is an association created by companies developing biotech crops. And we started our activities in 2003.
Yeah, 2003. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's a long time. And Argenbio is an association devoted to communicate about mainly biotech, but nowadays we are communicating about how food is produced and some issues or concerns by the public about what's happening in the field, for instance, with the environment, and if our products are safe to eat, and now gene editing, different things that are happening.
Of course. Which we heard some in the panel discussion that we had, which was fantastic. And we know that your passion in the seed sector is communication. Why do you see communication becoming more important in the seed industry?
Well, not only in the seed industry, actually everywhere, because I'm a biologist, actually. My background is I am a scientist.
Okay.
And I learned a lot about communicating, and I think that we always have to learn. It's a dynamic process. We have to learn how to communicate and try to do our best about communicating. And I think that it's very important that people understand what we do, how things are made, how things are produced, and mainly the science behind all these processes, which is very difficult to explain sometimes. Yeah. But we have to do our best to do that. I think that is
well said. Very well said. I've heard you've been working on communication campaign as well. Can you tell us more about it?
Well, we actually perform a lot of campaigns depending on the topic, depending on the the time of the year, or the discussion around what's on the discussion. So we perform a lot of campaigns. Sometimes are focused on explaining the innovation, for instance, behind the seed, and the innovation included in the seed, and how the innovation is created, and why it's important to protect this innovation. For instance, this is very important for the seed, but also, for instance, campaigns about safety, or did you know that that this is safe, and why this is safe, or did you know how this is regulated or assessed by the experts? Many types of campaigns we perform.
Makes sense.
And we try to focus our attention on the general public, but sometimes we develop some campaigns for health professionals, for instance, or nutritionists, or farmers, for instance, in different audiences depending on the topic, of course.
Fantastic. I don't know what you're so worried about. This is fantastic. You're nailing everything. You're saying everything. This is perfect. This is absolutely perfect.
Nothing is perfect.
I kind of want to go back to the biology, though. You were a biology scientist. Where did you go to school for biology?
In Buenos Aires, I studied. Actually, I am a molecular biologist. But I taught a lot about biotech with a famous professor in Argentina.
Really?
Called Moises Buretic. He's very, very, very famous.
Okay.
And I had the opportunity to teach.
Really?
To teach biotech.
Really?
During a long time, and then I did my PhD on parasitology, nothing to do with plants, I have to confess.
Yeah.
And after that, I went to Sao Paulo in Brazil and spent almost 6 years working there, and then came back to Buenos Aires. And suddenly I realized that I wanted something else or different. And I was very engaged and very enthusiastic about communicating, about trying to explain people in an easy way, different things. I think that this is my.
This is the spot. This is the spot. That's well said. This is passion. That's fantastic. One more for you. What's the number one thing you've learned since starting this communication campaign or these campaigns with Argenbio?
Yeah, the first lesson is trying to address the people concerns first.
The people. Yeah.
First, before sending our messages, trying to accept that they are worried for, different topics. So trying to listen to their concerns and trying to address their concerns and make this connection, and then we can try to explain something else about what we try to because people, for instance, in Argentina, we communicate a lot about GMOs.
Yes, of course.
And in Argentina, actually, it's not an issue in terms of communication or public perception per se.
Okay.
But people are worried about how food is produced, how it's produced from the field, the impact in the environment, the herbicides, for instance. So if people are worried about that, we have to address that concern first. And then try to explain how gene editing is coming, how it is included in the breeding programs, etc.
One thing we preach at our company is that communication is really about talking about a narrative. What have you seen is the best approach to non-agriculture based people about the seed industry?
Well, to be honest, I'm not representing here the seed industry because Argenbio is not representing the seed industry per se, it's representing biotech.
True. Yes.
So when I think that we have to tell people about biotech, at the beginning, we thought that it was just about explaining the science behind, but it didn't work.
No,
it didn't work. I have to confess that because it works for people that are very interested in science, but for those people that are not interested in science, there's no sense. So after that, we thought, okay, let's try speaking about the breeding. Everything is about breeding, about the science behind breeding, and there's nothing natural. So everything,
of course,
is a result
for sure.
Come from breeding. So, but I don't know if it worked because people is worried about how food is produced.
Of course.
And so, and this is the way we are now trying to focus our attention. So our campaigns are focused on that, and the narrative now comes from do you know how this is produced, or the effort or the science, but from the farm to fork rather than something separate. Yes, the science alone.
Makes sense. Very much so. Fantastic. What's the best way to combat misinformation, especially as we begin to talk more about the new technologies? Is there a way to make things such as gene editing seem less scary to consumers?
Yes, actually, I think that we have some ideas about that, and I think that in the case of gene editing, it's very important to explain this as part of the breeder toolbox rather than something that is, arriving as a miracle or a revolution.
Yes.
So we try to avoid those terms: revolution, miracles, no limits about this, do it yourself. I mean, try to avoid that. This is my first suggestion. And the second is about the images. I think that at the beginning, the pictures, because at the beginning we start explaining this as scissors, molecular scissors, and the DNA and scissors, and people trying to change things in the DNA. I don't think that people
understand.
Not only understand. So I don't think that people like that.
I think you're right.
Because they are cutting our DNA.
Exactly.
So I
No
don't
one
know
likes to see
if it's very
scissors.
interesting scissors in the DNA. So I think that is better to explain that it's about people and making changes in the plants, but the plants are there and the plants are safe and the people are with the plants or the cows or whatever. So I think that is better in that way.
Because I don't know if you heard the panel discussion with Garlic when he was talking about the conversation surrounded sharing information about GMOs and gene editing to the wider audience beyond just agriculture, because I think that
No, there's no problem there.
exactly agriculture, but that we have been a bit exaggerating. I think that was the word he used, that we exaggerate a little bit with those like words like revolutionize and those big words that people don't want that. People aren't looking for that.
No, I don't like, and it's scary. I mean,
Exactly.
it's just a revolution. There's no limit. There's no control. So we have to explain that there is control there. This is about science. These are excellent tools.
Of course.
But we are at the beginning of this process because we have only 2 products on the market.
Yes.
So we have to be careful about the promises of these techniques also. So this is my opinion about that.
But the last one is, if you had one piece of advice to give seed companies as they start a communications journey, what would you advise them?
It's about to, first of all, identify what you want to say, what you want to explain. Of course, about your audience, you have to prioritize that. I mean, it's impossible to talk to everyone at the beginning. But again, try to focus on the concerns by the public first. And I think that then you
can go.
Yes.
That's awesome. Fantastic. Very well said. And Gabriella, thank you very much. This was fantastic.
Okay, sure.